Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experiences, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Chris Zart, general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. All right. Well, we're back.
We are.
I have lost count of what the episode is, and that's okay.
But, I know we're probably weeks past it at this point, but we're nearing Christmas right now. And
we're getting closer.
Mike is showing it.
It's post-Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it's on, and I thought... well, first, I guess I was going to talk about holiday weddings and holiday events and things and memories from that. But I guess first, you had wedding last weekend. Anything...
Yes.
Good things, bad things, interesting things?
Oh, really good things. Yeah, it was, I was at Journeyman up in Michigan. I know there's 2 locations now, one in Valpo. I've yet to be there yet, but we were in Michigan. And I haven't been there in probably a few weeks now, but yeah, it was a really artsy crowd, kind of hipstery, which I like that group a lot. And it was just a killer dance floor, really good party. Everyone there was just genuinely nice. Any of the song requests I got, it's like they just knew what everyone wanted. We've talked plenty about this person is just looking out for themselves. They're just looking at I want to hear my song. No.
Meatloaf. They play some Meatloaf, man. Nobody wants that.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Yeah, 9 minutes long, maybe more. But no, everyone there was just on the same page of what they wanted as a group. So it was hard to not play a request. And there were some songs I was like, oh yeah, that would be fantastic, right? And then and on the same BPM that I was mixing to, everyone was just totally in touch, and that was great. And just genuinely nice to be around. And honestly, affirmation and compliments go a really long way. At least for me in this job, and I just had so many people throughout the night come up and they're like, "Thank you, you just killed it. Song after song was great." So that felt really, really good. But yeah, just overall, just a really good wedding. Father of the groom gave this limerick that he wrote, which initially I was like, okay, this is gonna be a little cheesy. It was really good. The groom himself, he was a comedy writer, so I think his dad is probably a pretty well educated and a good writer as well. But you could just tell his vocabulary was amazing. It was a really well done, and I honestly would prefer it over a normal speech. So that was kind of fun to see. But yeah, no, overall just super good wedding. So
I love when people do things that are creative and unique, but good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know everyone's trying to be different, but this was genuinely good. Yeah.
Genuinely good. And it reflects some of the values of the person giving the speech and the couple. And people remember that. You remember that. So definitely the guests will too. Mm-hmm. It makes a fun memory for the wedding day. And I definitely relate and love that it's the best when you're vibing with the crowd. You guys are on the same wavelength. They're going to love this song. They're going to love this next song. And oh my gosh, it's going to be even better for this third one.
It just flew by the whole night. It did not drag it out at all. And it was when we ended, I was I could go longer.
Yes.
If they would let me, I would go another hour, no problem.
Keep them hitting.
Yep. But no, just really good time.
That's such a great feeling. And, what also is such a great feeling is the holidays. So much magic, so much energy, so much color and beauty and light. And I did help this weekend. I helped Jacob set up for an 8-year-old's birthday party that was Taylor Swift themed. Mm-hmm. So it was just all the hits, all Swift. We got the mirror ball set up.
Nice.
Lights, just glitter and fun. Awesome.
Swifties everywhere.
Swifties all over the place. Swifties for days. But it was cool. A really cool, unique idea for a birthday party. I met the mom who booked us in her previous. She was a makeup artist, mm-hmm. and she's I think she does sales of some kind of makeup or beauty supplies or something. And she's an influencer, and she's just really talented, really creative person. And it was oh, I definitely want to do this gig. This would be awesome, right? So, but yeah, pretty chill weekend for me. I was off, so it was nice.
Saturday off.
But yeah, nice. The holidays are here. We're post-Thanksgiving, so it's time to break out the Christmas cheer and the other holiday cheer as well. And so, yeah, it's holiday season. And so there's this weekend, on Friday, we have 4 events. Mm-hmm. We have 3 holiday parties for different companies, and we have a wedding, which I love holiday weddings. And then Saturday, I've got my 20th high school reunion,
Oh, that's right.
and I think you've got a wedding.
Just parties this weekend.
Just parties, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, a
I only
holiday
have
party
one
as well.
more wedding left. I think I'm assisting with you at the end of December.
That's right.
But yeah,
But you have back-to-back holiday parties.
Yes.
At Blue Chip. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So holiday parties are awesome. It's a great time. I love January holiday parties too. But do you have any memories from holiday parties, from weddings, good or bad, or even advice on this time of year?
Yeah, I think most parties we've done, and I think we've kind of talked about in the past, but they are kind of one of the more difficult things to get people like dancing. And I found that with like the really, really big companies, we honestly really struggle with that. But like smaller ones where like everyone kind of knows each other, it's a little more intimate. That's better. And I kind of have like two totally different parties this weekend where like Friday, really big company. Like I think it's going to be a few hundred people. Saturday, it's like less than 100 people. It's kind of a smaller one. And it sounded like they really learned kind of from their mistakes in the past. When I talked to them, they were like, we set up the bar and the photo booth like way outside. Everyone was over there. No one wanted to dance. Now we're doing it all in the same room. So I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yes.
So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
So that's the first piece of advice. Have the bar, photo booth, all of the events in the same area as you're dancing.
And that applies to any weddings too.
Yeah.
Like if you can have it right in this, like the same space, that's ideal. Yeah, the further away you put it, that's where people are going to gravitate towards.
Yeah.
So
did they get the input from the staff on the music choices? I know Friday did, because we did their wedding last year, and they gave us not wedding, they did their holiday party,
right,
and they have like a pretty specific list.
They were very this Friday they had some very very kind of specific requests, which is great, and they kind of wanted a little more, some modern stuff, pop hits that came out in the past like year or two, which is nice. Honestly, it's kind of aligned with I feel like a lot of weddings we do,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of similar Saturday, but they were very non-specific. They had it sounds like a pretty wide range of ages and tastes that kind of go around, but like generally like everyone just is pretty chill and just wants to have a good time. Like
Sure.
I think it'll kind of run similar to a wedding of like we'll cater towards maybe towards the beginning and towards dinner some like rock, some country stuff like that that people would want to hear, and then we can kind of bring up the energy as like the night goes on.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, for holiday parties, I have a couple pieces. Depending on size, of course, too. Smaller is better in some ways, but I've been to big ones. I've been to my wife's holiday party, and then we've hosted our own, and we're hosting our own this year. And things I've learned are, keep the speeches short and sweet, and mostly positive and grateful. If you're doing giveaways or raffles, make it fun. Or if it's about the prize. Some people, they're just about the swag. And so, like, if you're giving away a PlayStation 5, fine.
Right.
And TV, some companies have the budget for that. And so the best way I've seen it is they have all the prizes out there, and they have little bins, and then you get like 10 tickets that are assigned to you as like, Mike Kane has 10 tickets for this holiday party. And it's always the employees. And you put how many tickets that you want into the bin that they're going to draw for it.
Right.
And so if you want the TV, you put all 10 in there, or if you want to put one in each or whatever, increasing the likelihood of the giveaway that you'll win that specific prize. So if you don't care about, a foot massager, whatever, or like a free spa weekend, then you don't put your tickets in that. And then the people who want that put their tickets in,
Right.
So that helps. Do the prizes at the end, because as soon as prizes happen, people leave.
Yeah, I actually didn't really think about that, and I kind of agree. So it sounds like Saturday they're going to do it right as dinner's ending, but it sounded like what they told me is they want to have me like kind of have some like pump up walk up music as people are going to get their like prizes.
Yes,
and, like,
that's a good idea.
Or whatever.
Make a whole list.
It sounded a little more like an award ceremony for like just accomplishments throughout the year. But that sounds kind of fun. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just put together like a list of songs that I can play as people are going up, and just like instead of like, oh yeah, like thank you, and then it just keeps
it builds the energy
dragging on. Yeah,
that's really good advice. Having a walk up song,
and then we're going right into dance floor after that. So it'll be like everyone's kind of getting a little hyped up, and then dinner's done.
But that helps set the energy. Normally, when I talk about themed weddings or themed parties, I usually say a little goes a long way. I said that a few months ago. For holidays and for birthdays, go all out. Just really lean in. I mean, Taylor Swift, they leaned into the theme. Lean into the theme. Holiday parties, go all out. Lots of light, lots of excess ugly sweaters or
Yeah.
Christmas ties or whatever you're going for. Wear your tuxedo. What a great time to dress up and have a fun night out, adult night out.
Yeah.
Go all out with the theme. It's supposed to be celebrating the year's accomplishments, the year's work. And it's supposed to be a fun thing for your staff, for your employees, and your friends and their loved ones. So I don't think that's the time to hold back and to
Right.
cheap out or to like, well, it's going to be probably just a 1 hour of dance music, like go crazy, go nuts. I don't know. I think that was all of it. Keep the speeches short, keep them positive. Prizes at the end, make a fun way to do the prizes. If you can do really expensive prizes, make it fun. If not, like we did last year, I did pictures, framed photos of me
Yeah.
from photo booths I did. And I'm just being really coquettish, like real sexy, in my photo. And then I put money in there as well, like different cash amounts.
None of us really care about the money. We just wanted the photos.
That's right. People are like, that's the one I want.
Next year. This year.
$100 ain't bad either, but yeah.
Oh man, there's something else I was going to say about that. Yeah, it's good. I think that everyone's like, yeah, we want a DJ, we want to have a dance floor because it's a party, and that's like
Yeah.
generally a good thing to have. But having other things too. So it's like I'm bringing a photo booth to both. At least like if people there are not going to be that into dancing, they're at least going to use the photo booth.
Yeah.
And yeah, just being honest, like this one that I'm doing this Friday, I did last year. It wasn't like we had a pretty good dance floor. It
Sure.
wasn't the craziest dance floor I had, but they love the photo booth. They got hundreds of photos out of it. So yeah, I think just knowing your group and what they're actually going to want to do, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
So
As a guest, if you're attending one of these things as a date or if you work at the company, same rules apply as wedding guests. Be appreciative, be all in, be dancing, take some photos, really have a good time.
yeah,
It's on the company's dollar, first of all, but second of all, like show the company that it's worth the investment in this.
yes,
That you appreciate it, that you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, the company would gladly save that money
Right.
and use it towards your bonus or use it for something else. And also, yeah, if you're having layoffs, if you're having a strike, if you're having crazy things happen at the company, maybe don't do the holiday party because it seems disingenuous to celebrate and party
Right.
when you're like, you just know we laid off 500 workers.
yes,
People are not feeling good and they're not happy and they don't want to go.
right. I genuinely, this company on Friday I'm doing this for, it really sounded like they were like just from nothing ground up, like one or two guys starting, and like the guy who owns the company now has been doing it for like 30, 40 years. I mean, it was just him.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was really cool to hear, like, he just genuinely cares about like the people there.
Yes.
I'm also remembering now, this resulted in not a great dance floor at the start,
Sure.
but it was a really cool thing. They gave everybody like a $50 voucher to gamble because it's at
Oh,
the casino.
heck
So
yeah.
everyone ran as soon as dinner was done. Everyone ran over, and it was funny. Of like, there's people that came back to dance in defeat.
Yeah.
And there was people that came back and they're like, yeah, like I
Dance,
turned this free
dance
50
in
to
celebration
300, you
or
know?
dance away my sorrows at losing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was a mix, or people that just left because I think they're.
That's a clever idea if you're having it at a casino. So really just to accentuate that feature of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked that a lot. That was pretty cool. of them
I've
to
done
do.
ones that were at at barcades
Oh,
where we
nice.
were like in a private room and then they're like, go out and here's credits at the barcade,
That's awesome.
that kind of thing. So there's lots of ways of doing it. To me, the best ones are, it's like the group wants to party.
Mhm.
Like it's the same thing as weddings. It's just, if you're hiring a DJ and you want a party, it's like some people hire DJs because it's like, well, yeah, we just want some good music, some holiday music and some dance music. If people want to dance, that's fine, but it's really an afterthought
Right.
about what we really do. Most of what they want is for RPA. They want our microphone and our
got a
speaker,
mic, speakers, background music that everone can hear clearly.
which I'm happy.
you know?
If they're going to pay our rate, I'm happy to do that.
Right.
But the best ones are when they bring it. My cousin hired us to do his like med school like holiday party.
Mhm.
And it's one of our promotional videos because it's just a rager.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's just all these like med students and residency. It was mostly residency students. So it's like people they're doctors, they're working, but they're not like graduated yet. They're working in hospitals.
So
they're
they
working.
need this party.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're working hard
Yep.
and 80 hours a week. And so this is like their one time to party. And oh my gosh, everybody dressed up, everyone nuts. It was so much fun.
That's cool.
It's so great when people appreciate what you're doing and you can see that like you're helping them feel good and helping them enjoy and celebrate and make memories and to
Right.
let off some steam as a DJ. That's a cool feeling. Holiday weddings, the best ones, again, people who lean in. I did one 2 years ago where the groom just loves Christmas, loves everything about it. He dresses up as Santa every year. They had, for their decorations, they had tons, like 12 different Christmas trees lit up differently. They had like little like Santa and reindeer. Like they went crazy with it and it was awesome. And there was a lot of cheer. There was a lot of music for that in the cocktail and dinner and stuff. They talked about it in the speeches and then we just partied. We danced all night. It was in kind of an infectious kind of thing where people, the holiday cheer really rubbed off on people. People were merry and bright, you know. So we're doing some ones coming up in the following weeks where they're doing karaoke, but it's Christmas carols,
Yes.
which I think will be fun.
I'm excited
See
to
how
see
that goes.
Yeah.
So karaoke is typically we don't offer that because it distracts from the focus of a wedding,
Right.
which is celebrating the couple and dancing. When you do karaoke, it's look at this person, how good or how bad they can sing and
Yes.
the performance they're offering. And if you do karaoke at your wedding, you now have a karaoke at your, that's what the focus is from then on.
Also, I think karaoke, like, it's supposed to be bad. I think that's seriously, like, I go to like a bar in town, and when there's people there that are like too good,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're practicing for this.
It's like when people are super in shape at the gym, like you're done, get
Yeah.
out of here.
Why
You know?
are you
You don't
here?
need to be
Why
here
are you here? It makes no sense at all.
to get an 8th ab, you
Yep.
know?
I've talked to my wife about that a lot. It's like we want to like be embarrassed when we're up there. That's the whole point. Like that's the fun of it.
But people who own that and aren't awkward about it
yeah,
is great. And people who are tone deaf who don't know they're bad and who think they're like
right.
singing their heart song, that is tough.
Yes.
Song selection is so important too, you know, with that. You pick a song that the crowd loves anyways and they'll sing with you.
Yes.
And if you know that you're doing a kick and you're doing a dance and you're really, you know, you have some energy, it's much more watchable, much more fun to see people perform that way versus like they pick a song that's way out of their range and it's way too long.
Yes.
It's kind of like speeches.
That's true. Yeah, you need to just do something appropriate. And I've learned my lesson. The last time I remember doing karaoke, I did it with my wife, and we did I've Had the Time of Our Life, which is like a big song that goes back to like high school for us. We'd sing in the car. What we discovered upon getting on stage is we only know the chorus to that song. We don't know any of the verses. And I was like, I don't know. And I just remember
Yeah,
this one guy just looking at me like, what are you doing? And it's a long song too. It's like almost 5 minutes, I think.
you're ruining this. This is
So-
Bill Medley. You're ruining it.
I swear
Yeah.
he faded out early, which like, God bless him. That was like necessary to happen. But
That's it's good. A guy's good at his craft.
yeah.
But that happens a lot where you're like, oh, I don't know the words.
Yeah.
I've picked a bad song.
This was a mistake.
This was a mistake. I'm sorry, everybody. I mean,
I felt like apologizing to like it was bad. Yeah.
I love that.
Oh yeah. But no, I agree with the whole, yeah, when you embrace it in like Christmas time, that's a really cool thing. And like everyone's like, you associate that with family and friends, and when you're at a wedding, you're around family and friends. So it's like just kind of accentuates it more. Like everyone's just in a good mood.
Positive memories. It's even better if it's snowing when you come outside at night and the wedding's done and you got some alcohol in you.
Right.
And you're feeling merry and bright and cheerful.
I'm excited. We're
hopeful.
doing one December 23rd, right? Together. So
Yes.
that's 2 days before Christmas.
Yes.
So I don't think I've worked a wedding that close to Christmas before. I'm very curious. And I've been
I'm
curious about
hoping it's
New Year's
magical
weddings.
AF.
How's your New Year's Eve weddings been? Have you done that before?
Yes, I've done it a few times, a few New Year's weddings. Almost always have been ragers because, again, people have expectations it's going to be a rager. I'm getting dressed up. I'm going out. It's New Year's Eve. I'm celebrating what a great year it's been or what a crummy year it's been. Either way, if it's been crummy, I'm drinking twice as hard and I'm dancing twice as hard. If it's been great, you know, it's going to be great. So
Right.
it's one of those ones where there is high expectations. And most people feel let down by the holiday because it's like, yay, the ball dropped and yeah, you know, it's done.
Yeah.
But most of the weddings have been very positive because people are dressed well. There's that magic in the air. There is the kind of like we're post-Christmas, you know, like, but we want to celebrate and rage one more time. And nobody has work the next day. So that's always good. I've not ever had a bad New Year's wedding. I've done 3 of them, and they were all really fun. As a DJ, I charge more because it is more work. I'd rather be off. And there is high expectation, and I try to do more for it. We did one year, they hired a balloon drop person, But the balloon drop person was like, "Here's a stick, poke this." So I had to have my assistant go and poke it at the right time, you know. It was cool, but I was like, "You don't do the poking? Like that's not these no, they pay me, I have to pay extra for the poking."
It's
So
an additional fee.
yeah.
That's
So they just
hilarious.
showed us what to do when we I was like, Bradley, go poke that thing when it's time to go. But I love to build it up that's what I use the emceeing. I'm like 10 minutes, you know,
Right.
and I'm just kind of 1 hour. I do like different increments. And then I usually pick popular songs or songs with lots of energy from either that year or from, you know, in recent memory that build up to that. And then I love to drop the old saying it's a famous New Year's Eve song. Old saying line or whatever. It's
I
a,
swear we're DJs, yeah. But it's always hard. Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows the words because it was written by like a Scottish poet, and so it's a lot of that broke, you know.
You can just hum it, yeah. Everyone
But
knows the
it's
melody.
beautiful, and it always gives me like fills me with like tears and joy and happiness, and a little bit of sadness and sorrow for like those who've lost, you know, in the previous years and things that you've. And so that's kind of what the song's about, you know, and you'll raise another one. Anyway, but great song, great energy, and they're really fun. If you're going to do it, either have it end at midnight. I've seen ones where they extend out till 1. I think that's a mistake. Midnight, 12:15 or 12:30. I would not go till 1 or 2. Some people like.
Then you can end like last song and it's like then the countdown. Like that sounds like a lot of fun just to go right until that point. But
There's a reason it's a popular night for when people book tickets. Like a lot of area bars and venues book like New Year's Eve. And it's like because they know people are going to pay a premium. You get your drink tickets, your food, and your little champagne and the glitter and confetti drop and all that, you know. I've done that a few times personally. I don't know if it's worth it. With the right group, it's worth it. But I don't know if I'd love to DJ something like that, but I don't know if I personally would go to that.
right.
Just because it's just overcrowded and it's lame. It's not as fun. To me, it's always about the people you're around, which is what I find with weddings. So, I've been on this concept lately of like the best wedding I've ever done, the worst wedding I've ever done. And let's talk about like ideal weddings and like nightmare weddings. What are the factors that you see consistently in those the ones that are the best? What are the things you see there?
The right amount of easygoing. Because when people are like not wanting to make a decision, that's really frustrating. And it's like when they leave it completely on me of like, oh, well, you can play anything for cocktail hour or dinner music, or you can do whatever on the dance floor. If you're completely leaving it up to me and then you're disappointed, that ends up on you, even though it looks like it's my fault. You left all of the judgment on me. You know, I'm making all of those decisions. So it's like, you got to make a decision, but it's great when you can collaborate with us and you meet in the middle of like, hey, we like these things. But we trust you. You're the professional, you know, that's like the baseline. Once we have that at the beginning, I know it's most likely going to be a good time. And then day of the wedding, when they just genuinely want to have a good time and party, I think having a bridal party and couple that wants to be out in the dance floor and like wants to be partying, that immediately gets everyone else out there. I've done so many weddings where it's like the bridal party is just completely, the groomsmen, they're gone. I don't even know where they went, you know, and it's just that energy, it feeds, you know, people feed off that energy of,
It inspires
of the people
them.
that they're there to see, you know. Yeah, inspires them. That's a great way to put it. And yeah, so I think, yeah, just being easygoing enough, you know, making the decisions you need to make and not just like, oh yeah, whatever. That's like the baseline. And then like day of, just once we're through ceremony, if you're ready to party, like I will match that energy. I'm ready to go. I'm always ready to go. Like as long as we can be on the same page, it's going to be a good time. But yeah, like the inverse of that is just like not making a decision, just procrastinating, you know, like stuff like that. But
Yeah, you really kind of set the tone. You and your bride and groom and or bride and bride or groom and the bridal party set the tone of if it's infectious, it's contagious. You want to be ideally like some form of Robin Williams, Dead Poet Society, when they stand on the chairs and it's like, oh, Captain, my cat, people will follow you into the gates. You know, they're going to battle with you. you don't want to be like Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo, where you're a creepy stalker and just standoffish.
Was he
and
the bad guy in that
He
movie?
was the bad
Oh,
guy,
okay.
and you're just obsessive and controlling and and detailed and just hard to be around.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You want to be ideally inspirational, but also fun.
Mhm.
Maybe like I never saw Flubber, but it seemed like he was fun in Flubber.
I haven't seen it in a while. It's a good one though.
Yeah, Genie maybe. I don't know.
But no, yeah.
But
On
his
the other
energy
side,
was infectious. It's contagious.
The DJ's energy too, and how they are. Like I really like to be detailed ahead of time and make sure I have everything that I need to go, because I don't want to walk into the day not knowing what's going to be going on. But day of, I try and keep everything organized, but I want to make everyone feel comfortable and relaxed, and I want them to feel like they're being taken care of, but not like I'm freaking out, shuffling around, running all over the place. Because that rubs off on other people. Like if people see that you're stressed, they're gonna feel stressed. So it's really important day of for the DJ to be, with it, but chill at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, to me, the best ones are they have specific things that are must-haves and can't stands or want to avoids.
yes.
They have a pretty specific timeline, but not overpacked,
Mhm.
and they're flexible with it on the day of, where we can move this or drop this or add this, or they're pretty chill with that part of it. And then they have that genuine attitude. I'm all in. I want to have fun. The people that hire great vendors, they know they hired this. It's going to be a good night. Sometimes I show up and I see who they hired,
Mhm.
and I'm like, it's going to be a great night. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I show up, I'm like, who is this person?
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, I hope, because it's just right away they're giving off an air of like, I am the best photographer or the videographer that's ever been created on earth. And it's going to be about me tonight and
Either-
about me
yeah.
getting my shots, or
Big ego or
venue owners or venue
Right.
coordinators are like, let me tell you how it's going to be. They're running it like it's the Gestapo, and you follow the rules and you get in line or we cut you,
Mhm. I didn't bring this up, but yeah, a few weeks ago, I didn't even know who it was. I never worked with this photographer before. As soon as I walk in the door, he says to me, not even hi. He's like, hey, you're not going to F me over at all tonight. You're going to let me know what's going on when it's happening, right? I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
Like, hi, nice to meet you. And then,
Yeah.
it sounded like he's worked with a lot of like bad DJs, which we get, but it's like, we're not all the same.
Sure.
And that was my first interaction. So I was just like, ooh.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
had some bad experiences.
Yes.
And you're paying for those.
Right.
That's
So then
not
I
good.
went overbearing the whole night. I was
Sure.
like, we're going into this. We're going, and I let it, because I was like, there's nothing I want to do tonight that,
Yeah.
that you're going to feel like I'm trying to screw you over or whatever. And it was just that was such a strange, like, I didn't even know how to react, like initially, it was so strange, but
I get that sometimes with planners and coordinators who are really intense,
mhm.
and they're like really micromanaging and controlling, but it doesn't happen often. The best ones communicate often.
Yes.
And give details. They send you timelines in advance. They ask for your input. They check with you. Okay, here's the plan. Let's go over it again. This is what I'll do. This is what you do. You have questions. They're really helpful and collaborative, and they make my job easier. The tough ones are the ones that try to control and focus, and they don't trust me to do. They're like, we're going to announce in 5 minutes. Are you ready? And, that just on your case, creating stress and anxiety about what you always do. There's no need for it. Typically, it's ones who are inexperienced or who are fearful, but sometimes they hire a friend or the maid of honors, the planner, the coordinator, and they are like on you about the time. Are we right at 8:05? Are we? Yes. And
Right.
so those ones I'm just like, yes, ma'am, let's do it. Or yes, sir, let's do it. And I try to do enough things where, I clearly show to them that I am on it so they can relax. They know they don't have to be on my case.
Yes.
I have to work extra hard to show them I'm competent at my job, even though we just met. And, I was competent enough to get the job. They hired me, they're paying me. But some people, they don't want to leave it to chance. They just don't trust you.
I was watching, and we saw him, I think a year or two ago, but I was watching a special of his Nate Bargatze, and he had this joke of, I went to the golf course, and he's like, I got big eyes. Sometimes people look at me and they're like, hey, are you still there, man? But said to me, like, they had llamas that were the caddies. And the guy said to me, oh, "Oh, just so you know, the llamas, they can't talk though." It's just like, "Yep, they are in fact animals, sir.
I'm aware.
I'm aware." But yeah, it's just crazy sometimes of like, yeah, I'm on the same. I got the same information. I know what's going on.
Llama can't suggest what club you should hit.
Right. But no, it's just that like I felt like that kind of applied.
Yeah,
Just
people
like,
think
yeah,
you're so stupid and so incapable,
Right.
and it's infantilizing and it's disrespectful, and it makes you not want to work for that person. It makes you want to work against that person
right.
because they're making you work harder in a way that's not useful. So I typically try to work harder in a way that I can demonstrate I've got it. But you know, that's the great part too is I don't have to work with this person the rest of my life. I just have to do the best I can with what I have and the time I have, and try to make a good wedding out of it.
But yeah, no, inverse of that, like going back to what you started with, it's like it's amazing when you walk in and you just know the team you're with of like we are gonna have a good night. I don't have to worry about anybody. They know what's going on. We're all on the same page. Like, yeah, that's fantastic. I love when that happens.
And I've started to where I associate that with venues and with venue teams and with vendors and vendor teams, and I'm just like, yes.
No, you feel good. You just feel way
Oh
less
my
stressed
gosh,
walking
it's just
in.
it's exciting and it's going to be fun. And then because all that is there, because I'm like, they're good. I trust them. They're going to get it. I'm going to communicate with them. They're going to communicate with me. We're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
Then it gets really fun because you can get all of the stress of the day melts away. And then as a vendor, I can get creative. How can we make this even better, even
Right.
more fun? How can I say or do or play this song or come up with this creative thing, or I can work this cool thing with the vendor? It becomes a fun game then versus like a hard job and I got to get everybody. It's just that kind of thing. It's just, wouldn't you love to show up to work and be excited and be energetic and find fun, creative ways of doing your job to make it memorable and cool? Or would you like to just like, yep, then we're going to do bouquet. And then, yep, we're going to do this. And yes, I'll make the announcement. Yes, I'll announce the bus schedule. Yep, I'm going to 5 announcements. And yes, no glass on the dance floor, no problem. I'll make the announcement. You know, you can drudge through it and it can be a painful thing, or it can be a really fun, rewarding, and exciting thing. I like to find creative ways to give the bus schedule out, or creative ways, fun ways to tell them about glass on the dance floor, make a joke
Right.
out of it. So
Yeah,
the
I've
point
said
gets
before,
across.
Like, I know you guys really want to fight with glass right now. Like, I know you want to break these glasses and just like go to town, like
Yes.
fight, but we can't do that.
Everybody
Can't
wants to
do
cut their feet. I know that's what you came for.
That happened before actually. I saw a trail of blood that went from
Yeah.
the dance floor to the bar, and it was just like, you know, most women take off their shoes on the dance floor, and it was just like bam, right on glass. And yeah, it was funny that it was straight to the bar. It could have been to the bathroom. It could have been to like help. I guess it was help in some kind of way, but
I hate being the parent. You
Right.
know, shame. If I have to be, I try to make it fun or quick. You know, but like it's like, I know you guys say no, not me. I never have dropped anything in my entire life, but it's gonna be you. It's gonna happen. You're gonna be drinking and laugh at a joke, or it's not even gonna be your fault. Sally will knock your hand,
Right.
and then you have a broken glass on the dance floor, and then the night is ruined for everybody.
damn it, Sally, why'd you do it?
Well, she dances too hard.
Yeah.
She's got to dance. The songs you're playing, it's your fault, DJ. You should have warned me about the glasses on the dance floor. But no, there's a good reason for that. But I think
Yeah.
the way you go about it is what matters, makes the
Absolutely.
difference. What are the things that you're like, the worst weddings, the most difficult ones? What are those things that you've noticed about those experiences? And some of them are going to be the opposite of what we already said. But
I mean, yeah, we covered. I feel like because I was kind of hitting the inverse of a few of the things that I like too. But you go ahead and start.
I mean, as DJs, we're really sensitive to atmosphere. So things that impede the atmosphere are always it's gonna be an uphill battle. Atmosphere can be things like the day of the week when the wedding is, the weather, if it's really hot or really cold or really rainy or really,
Yeah.
just really crud, just a lot of crud dealing with it. Some of the venues layouts where the bar, everything is outside in the next room, and the dance floor is in its own separate room. People, I don't want to be where the dance floor is. I want to be where the bar is. That's where everyone's going to hang.
Right.
Or there's like a lot of fun stuff to do, or it's really a beautiful garden. Have you been outside? It's gorgeous. Like that's going to really be difficult. when the timeline is structured in a way where it's not conducive to dancing. It's like that's an atmosphere thing, in my opinion. It's like we're gonna do first dance and then dinner, and then we're gonna do 5 speeches and then dinner and then 6 more speeches, and then we're gonna have mother-son dance and then another speech and then father-daughter dance and another speech.
It's breaking up the flow. Yeah.
Breaks up the flow, and too many speeches, too many things. The crowd gets tired. And if this, in my experience, most speeches aren't amazing, and they're typically very focused on the couple or on the stories about the couple when they were kids. It's not the most interesting thing to hear as a stranger who doesn't know the couple at all. Or typically, if you're a guest at a wedding, you know one of the people, not both of the people. So if they're talking about the groom and you know the bride and you don't really know the groom, and the story's not that good or interesting, or it's a lot of inside jokes, it's not really, that's going to be 23 minutes of your time
Right.
that you're sitting and chilling, and you could be, most people pick up their phones or, they're not interested. That kills energy, kills atmosphere. But if it's, 1 or 2 speeches, short and sweet, and they're funny, and they make you feel something, and make
And
you
it can apply to everyone there. When you're saying like inside jokes,
Yeah.
like, it's just like you're really catering to a very small group of people that actually know what's going on. Everyone
right.
else is like, I don't really know.
You should avoid it at all costs. If you have to do it at another time. That's not the wedding.
Yeah.
Or do it in a way that's relatable to everybody.
Right.
But that kills the atmosphere.
I would say, in complete contrast to the wedding I was describing over the weekend, so many overbearing requests nonstop throughout the night that are completely against what everybody wants or the couple wants on the dance floor. And then also what I found is, and this is really specific, when it's like a kid who is like 8 to like 11 or 12 years old who comes up and then they're like, hey, can you play Drake next? And then they just turn around and they leave. And then like they come up, are you playing it now? Play it next. And then they just don't stop.
I'm
And
used to
just
getting
like,
what I want.
right.
You work for me, DJ.
It's really hard because like to an adult, I mean, not even not even all the time.
I've had adults do that too,
They
but
don't
yeah.
even get it. But like most of the time I can be like, hey, I mean, yeah. And then I remember over the weekend I had one request and the couple specifically said like they don't want like really hard rap. No problem. That was like the only thing of like kind of a music that I should avoid. So someone came up and they were like probably the most respectful person I've seen in a while. And they're like, hey, can you play? And I can't remember the artist, but not something I could play. And I was like, hey, listen, like, the bride and groom, this is the type of music they wanted. They gave me, and they also said, are you pretty hard coded to like a list? Did they give you music? Is this kind of just you? I'm like, a little mix of both.
Yeah.
They gave me some music. I'm doing my own thing. And that is something that they actually wanted me to avoid. And then they're like, I respect that you respect your job. That's what they told me.
That's
and I was
fantastic.
like, and then they just said, have a good night. And they walked away. I was like,
that's fantastic.
Great.
They want to have a conversation. They're already aware of the difficulties of the situation and the nuances.
Was perfect. And I turned to Kate, my assistant. I'm like, that is how you handle like a request for music. Because I was like,
and if you could play it, you would have.
I
Given
would
how
have
that person,
100%. Yeah.
how that person treated you, and then their response when you weren't able to do it, they were like, "Oh, no problem."
Yeah.
They went on, had a great night.
But even that of like, I respect that you respect your job. Of like, I could just be some DJ. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I don't care. I just play the song just because she asked me. But like, she saw that like, oh, this is the things that I'm prioritizing. I'm, really paying attention to the music I'm playing, stuff like that. So that felt really good. But yeah, the opposite of that can be pretty bad of just like, play the song now or like, completely a different direction of where we're going. Like everyone's enjoying hip hop and you want me to play like 9 Inch Nails right now? Like I like 9 Inch Nails, but it's going to be a bad time probably. Good time for you while you sit at your table.
If it's a compliment thing or it's going to increase the party, it's going to be better. Then tell us. But if it's like going to bring things down, you have criticisms, you have notes. We're DJing. We're trying to throw a dance floor. We don't need notes. It's obvious if people aren't dancing, and we're trying to find a way to make them dance. And if you have some insider information that's going to make that happen, you probably don't. But if you do, let us know.
Yeah.
If somehow you're like, yeah, they love bluegrass or whatever, they didn't tell me that, that's never anything I would go to get people to dance. But man, if it was like guy was hounding me, and I played it and the floor went nuts and it was just like everybody was dancing suddenly, I was like, oh, we're going to have to play more bluegrass.
You knew something I didn't. Yeah.
That happens. But most of the time people just want to criticize and tear down, and they're not really there for the couple. They're there for themselves. And they're not.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say the hardest one to hear is like when someone's like, the groom loves this song. And like the thing is, if it's not on the list or that they never told me about this or they love this artist, I've had to go both ways where I'm like, why wasn't I told this ahead of time? So that's the other thing. Yeah, just let us know. Like, really, I know it's hard. What music do you like? That's a really hard question to answer.
Sure.
What songs do you actually want to hear? That like most people, they got to take a lot of time to kind of process that. But like, there's times where someone's just lying to me. You know, obviously they're like, oh, I just want to hear this.
It's
But
their
there,
favorite
There
song.
have been times where I'm like, I just wasn't given this information ahead of time. Now I know, and you just like helped me big time. So that's great when that happens.
I'm appreciative of that. But yeah, sometimes it's like they have no idea. They don't really care. They just want to hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And they want to hijack. That's the best term. They want to take over and make it theirs. And they want you to give into their demands. And, you know, I don't negotiate with terrorists.
I was about to say they're a song terrorist.
Song terrorists. I don't negotiate with them. So you have to, you know, I do this for a living. And so I have a pretty good idea when it's me or when it's not me. Why they're not dancing, you know, or why they are dancing.
Right.
The worst is when everybody's dancing. It's a full floor, and they come up and act like I'm making a huge mistake. What are you doing? I think I said that. I think that was talking to you.
You were talking about that recently. I think we talked about it like 2 podcasts ago. But
Yeah.
there was some person who came up and
A woman
like,
came up and was just,
"You're ruining it.
you're ruining it. I was like,
Turn around.
I finally said, well, what are you talking about?
Like, look."
I'm not playing what you want to hear, but people are dancing, having fun. That's always hard when people they don't understand, they don't appreciate, they don't really want to make it a good time. They just want what they want. And they are not burdened at all about letting you know how bad of a job you're doing.
Right.
I think everyone can relate to that. When you're working hard at your job and somebody comes up and has a complaint or has a criticism or just makes something, so I'm going to ruin your day, bud.
I mean, you know, confidence can fluctuate a lot, and it's like sometimes I just don't know. Like I remember I think it was last year I did a wedding, and they were, you know, specifically like, we only like country, not a big deal. I have a feeling like we probably won't have much of a dance floor because a lot of country is slower, and that's just generally how it is. So we stuck to that. We didn't really have a dance floor. Everyone was in the room drinking, hanging out, talking.
Sure.
Though. Like no one was like at
Still
the
having
table.
a good time.
Everyone was standing up.
Yeah.
No dance floor whatsoever. That continued for like 2 hours. The groom came up to me and I was like, oh no. And I was just, and I kept feeling like that time was going slow.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I was just getting so worried. He came up and he's like, we are having such a good time. This is so nice. All we want to do is just listen to our favorite songs and like hang around and drink. When like
you don't have to dance. Yeah, you feel like you're failing because they're not dancing.
Failing. And then he came up and I got a review out of that one. Like it was like not at all what I could have expected. I mean, they told me that ahead of time. This is probably what it's going to be. No one's really big into dancing. So I kind of had the expectation there, but still, day of, I was like, oh no. But yeah, him coming up and just like, thank you. Like, this is great. Like, cool.
Yeah. I mean, the job has taught me that people rate success differently. As a DJ, I rate it, is it a full floor? Are people feeling things? Are they making memories? Are they having a good time?
Yeah.
And there's ways to have a good time that don't involve dancing, just being honest. I know, it's hard to believe. But I've had weddings where people didn't dance and they had a great time.
Yes.
But the other elements were there, and we were listening to the couple, and they really understood we just want to chill. We want good background music, and it's more important we hear the songs we love, and we'll figure it out. We don't care if people dance or not.
Right.
Just give us that versus like, you know, make us not fun people have a lot of fun. You know, can't do that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good off season. I have some fun people lined up to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to a jeweler right now.
Interesting.
He's like, I think I'd be too boring. I was like, I think you'll be good.
I mean, that's what starts it all. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And I have questions.
right.
And I think folks at home do too, about what are the things I should look for? What should I avoid? What are the fun stories you have from this? Just insider help, insider advice. And he's a good dude. I've known him a few years, and he's been to a few weddings I've done, and I think he'll be good. So we'll see if I can talk him into it. But
Sweet.
yeah. Well, I've hit a block, so
Yeah.
It's
I
time
don't
to
have
go.
anything else at this time, but
thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. And we'll see you.
Happy holidays, guys.
Yes, happy holidays, and we'll see you on the dance floor.